Welcome to the Talegate Podcast with your host, Al Blanton. At Talegate, we celebrate the rich history of sports in the state of Alabama. So come with us as we relive great moments, great games, great players and coaches, and in the process, preserve memories for a lifetime. Well, hey guys, this is Al. I recently had a great trip up to Huntsville, Alabama, to the campus of the University of Alabama, Huntsville, also known as UAH, to interview Mia Hollingsworth, a former Jasper Viking who plays guard for the Lady Chargers basketball team under head coach Alan Sharp. I was so impressed with Mia, both as a student athlete and as a person. So without further ado, here's my interview with Mia. Hope you enjoy. Mia, the first question I've got for you is how are you enjoying it so far?
I'm loving it. I really am. I was really nervous about the transition, and I'm a homebody, so being up here. But my family's made a bunch of trips up here, and I go home every chance I get. And then of course just the teammates. I mean, we're basically family at this point, and so it's really, I'm enjoying it. I can't complain about anything. The school, all the professors really buy into the athletes, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah. You know, I don't know a whole lot about UAH. The first time I ever really set foot on that campus, it was a couple years ago. I was running in the Rocket City half marathon, and we ran the back portion of the marathon, and we ran through the UAH campus. So I was not having a great time when I ran through there. But tell me about going to school there. I want to know a little bit more about what the culture is like at UAH.
They definitely take academics to a whole nother level. Our coach always tells us get the most you can out of basketball, but also in classes, because a degree from here, kind of has a little pop to it with it being from UAH. But most of the majors here are engineering. They're really known for their engineering program, which is my major. I'm mechanical engineering, and so I have a bunch of teammates that are aerospace engineering, and so, but they have I think 6 different colleges here, as in education, business, different ones like that. But mainly it's a lot of people here for the engineering, and it's very diverse. There's all kinds of different people here, and it's crazy because they're all friends. In high school everybody had their little cliques, but you'll be friends with people that you would have never thought you would have been, just because you two have a class together or whatever, something like that. So it's really, they definitely take academics very seriously here.
So what are the classes that you're taking, and how many hours do you have this semester?
So to be eligible to play, you have to be able to take 12, you have to be able to pass 12 credit hours. So they really have us taking 15. That way, in case something happens and somebody needs to drop a class, then you'll still be eligible. But my first semester I just finished, I took 17 credit hours, and mainly it was just a lot of basics. But next semester I'll kind of start taking the engineering, so I'll be in engineering 101 with coding and stuff like that. But this semester was kind of, I think, just doing, get some of the basics.
Yeah. So was it kind of the perfect fit when you think about, the academic side of it, kind of offering, what you needed to take and wanted to take, and then obviously Coach Sharp has been, he's a very seasoned, successful coach, and then just the proximity to Jasper, it really seemed like a great fit for you.
It really was perfect. The way it worked out was my junior year, towards the end of my junior year, I actually committed to play golf at Wallace State. And Coach Sharp was, of course, coaching the girls and the boys at Wallace at the time. And so when he found out, he kind of recruited me to play basketball as well. And so at first I was kind of hesitant, but I was I know I love the sport. I know next year when everybody's playing and I'm not, I'm going to be upset. And so I agreed to play. And then, of course, my major was planned on being engineering. And so whenever he got the job offered, I kind of wanted to reach out to him first. And I think he wanted to do the same. And so I called him. And before I could mention it, he was like, if I have a spot, do you want to come? And I was like, yes, I would love to. Yeah. And so it really, such a God thing how everything happened, with how he happened to be at Wallace, and that's where I was gonna go, and happened to come here, and this is the school with my major. It was really cool, but he does great. Like, we have notebooks. Everybody has their own notebook, and like before the game, at halftime, after the game, we go in there, we sit down, we take notes. We take notes of film. Like, it's cool how serious he takes it, and especially in preseason is when it was tough. But like, I can't even watch a basketball game anymore without getting frustrated, because I'm like, oh, they didn't close out with their right hand, or oh, they went over the screen on a like driver or something, just because he's changed the way that all of us look at the game so much.
Have you been surprised at, the playing time that you've gotten pretty early, and just the ability to kind of come in and contribute? Has that been something that's kind of been surprising to you?
It really was. I think the biggest difference for me coming in was like the physicality. I wasn't as big as everybody, and I had literally about never played defense in my entire life. But that's the main reason I didn't think I would play, is just because I was smaller than some of the other guards we had or whatever. But yeah, I was super surprised when I started playing, and to play more, I think I just have to get so much better on defense, because on offense, I feel like I'm not like a liability. I'm not like our guard that runs it all, but I'm not a liability. So defense, for sure, I just have to keep working in that aspect.
Now, you and Ivy are roommates. Did y'all know each other prior to coming to UAH, or was that something they paired y'all up with? And then, going back to what I said earlier, both of your dads played at the same college. Tell me about that relationship, and what you guys have enjoyed about being roommates.
So we didn't know each other. We always played against each other, and I think we didn't really like each other because it was always such a tough matchup. But the first time I ever talked to her, we were both on the North team for the North-South team in May of the summer before our senior year. And so we kind of talked then, and we were buddies. But I had no idea that our dads played together. That's pretty cool. I'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, well, they didn't play together, but they played the same school. Yeah. Yeah, both of them played at Walker College.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know about that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yeah, talk a little bit about y'all. I'm sure you guys have fun, and are building a good relationship.
We do. We've gotten so close. It's like hilarious, and I think we get on some of our other teammates' nerves because they're a lot older than we are, and so we're just like goofy. That's what, like, in the weight room and stuff, we'll have to separate because we can't like be serious around each other, and so it always like cracks up the older girls because we're always just acting crazy. But it's been fun.
Have you had some time to, kind of get out in Huntsville a little bit and kind of explore the city? I know it's a very hot town. It's really growing, and, just a lot to do culturally. And, have you been able to kind of, check out the town a little bit? And there's some places you like to go around Huntsville.
Oh, yes, sir. So I actually used to live here. I was probably like 10 or 11, but my dad coached at James Clemens High School up here.
Okay.
And so I was up here, but I was a lot younger, and I have some family that lives up here, a couple cousins and an aunt. And so my family's taken me out to a bunch of different places to eat and everything. And, but me and my teammates, we always go, like, we'll go eat, and then I love Topgolf. That's one of my favorites. So every time, like, my mom or my dad will come up here, I always make them, like, take me to Topgolf, and we'll go to Topgolf and eat or do whatever. But we definitely got to get out more, especially, like, postseason and stuff, kind of get out more and see more. But, in season, we had, like, 4 games last week, so when I'm not playing or practicing, I'm usually in my bed.
Yeah. Paint me a picture of kind of life in your conference. One of the things when I was coaching that I really enjoyed was those bus rides up to Snead, or up to, there was a classic that we went to every year in Missouri, and just, tell me about, ball games and life in your conference, especially, away games?
So usually for away games, we'll have like a pre-game meal and then a post-game meal. But the bus rides are taken pretty seriously. On the way up there, I don't think we have as much fun. We all kind of stay to ourselves and listen to music or do whatever. And then, on the way home, hopefully, if we get a win, then we're kind of crazy playing music. But we did our first couple games of the season. We went down to Florida, Lakeland, Florida, and we had like a conference crossover with the Sunshine State Conference. And so we played Florida Southern and we played Rollins. And so we busted it up into like a 2-day road trip kind of. It was like a 14-hour drive. So we had fun going on there, and of course, like, we got to stay in the hotels together, and that was fun. And we brought card games and played cards. But on the way there, I think our team kind of looks at it as like a business trip until after we get the win. But on the way home from the win, then we kind of have some fun on the bus. But it's super fun. I wouldn't trade any of my teammates for anybody else, because everybody that brings like the different personalities and stuff, it's perfect. Like today at 6, we have a Christmas party everybody put together that we're doing.
That's cool. What are your goals, over the next 4 years? Basketball wise, academic wise, spiritual wise, whatever you want to say about that.
I would say basketball wise, definitely like win the conference, a couple times would be nice. Definitely want to make the NCAA tournament, like I'll get in practice. And as far as academically, I want to maintain like at least a 3.4, 3.5 GPA, and of course get my mechanical engineering degree. And hopefully they do like a jump program where you can graduate with your master's in 5 years. And so that's another one of my goals, is to start my junior year jump program, so that after I graduate, I can come back and get my master's in 1 year.
Tell me about your relationship with your dad in terms of his influence on you. And, he was a college basketball player, and tell me about his influence on not only basketball, but your life.
I think that's the biggest differences here, because like he's like my best friend. And I know some people say it's like hard to play for a parent, but he did very good at, once we left the gym, like he was dad. He wasn't coach anymore. And he coached me in golf and basketball for 6 years. And so this is like my first year where, he's not over there on the bench, like, telling me what to do or whatever. I think it was last week, was the first game he had ever missed, because I think Jasper played somewhere. And so he was like watching the stats on his phone. He texted me, he was like, "This will not happen again." He's like, "I've got to make sure that I can get to him." And so I actually have given him like my login to watch practices. So he'll like watch our practices every single day and like let me know what he thinks or like what I can do better. But
so he's dialed in all the time.
Oh, all the time. He is all the time. He'll send me like a text before practice and be like, "Don't forget to like stay down and help," and whatever. Like, have a good practice. But he definitely, I think the way I play looks a lot like the way he played, and super grateful to grow up with that. And not only him being a coach, but him being like a good dad and like balancing it.
Yeah.
He did real.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do not. I'm the only child.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I tell my mom sometimes that my dad acts like my brother half the time, because when I was little, he'd always like play basketball with me or whatever. So,
what kind of approach did he take? I mean, I'm reading between the lines here, and I mean, I'm sure he challenged you, but it sounds like he was more of a teacher and not really a drill sergeant.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't. If anybody was gonna be like a drill sergeant, I think it wasn't gonna be him. Like, he would get somebody else to do it. And honestly, like, I can admit to it now, but I would listen to other people better, just because they're not my dad. But like, him telling me something. I think sometimes he would tell somebody else what to tell me just so I would listen to him.
Yeah.
But no, I think he kind of talked to me more of like as if I was like an assistant coach or something instead of like a player, you know, getting on to him yelling. He would like, you know, talk the game with me and like figure it out mid-game. So
Yeah.
it worked really well.
Yeah. Well, I was an only child, and I had the drill sergeant for a dad.
Oh,
And,
no.
I mean, you know, yeah. So we see who is able to, you know, get to another level. And I know I played at Walker College for a couple of years, but I never got to play at a 4-year school. But the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. But that's awesome that you've been able to have that kind of relationship with him, and you know he's super interested. And I know your mom is too. I mean, you know, I don't know your mom, but I know she's very supportive as well.
She it's actually been funny. I guess she'll be in the living room watching the practice with my dad too, and so she kind of just hears things and picks up on things. And me and her went and watched Jasper the other night, and I don't remember what she said, but she said some like basketball term, and I was like, "Where did you hear that?" And she was like, "Well, I'm trying to learn." So she cheered in college at Northwest, and so she actually used to cheer against my dad, which is funny. But she's definitely a lot. She's learned a lot about basketball, and she's usually there just to cheer for me and yell at the refs.
Did she go to Northwest Phil Campbell? Or Shoals? Was it Shoals or Phil Campbell?
I think it was Shoals.
Okay, so she's from is she from the Muscle Shoals area?
Her and my dad both, they grew up and graduated in the same class at Hamilton.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So she's from Hamilton too.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, anything else you want to say about your team or your teammates? I mean, it you know, coming to practice today, I mean, it seems like y'all have got a bunch of hard workers, and you've got a pretty good bunch.
We do. Actually, he like kind of cleaned house when he came in. I think there's only 6 returners, and then there's 6 returners, and then me and Ivy, the freshman, and then there's another freshman, and so it's us, and then he got like 7 out of the portal. So we have girls from like UNC Asheville, Trevecca, West Georgia. We had a girl come back from Sanford. So he's gotten a ton. One that came from Birmingham Southern. So it was kind of cool how he like pieced it all. Like he recruited everything and like recruited the team and pieced it together.
Yeah.
And he's like plays really well together.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we may turn this thing into a podcast. This has been a good interview for the last 20 minutes. So, well, I enjoyed practice today, and your skill development portion of practice, and you know, I really enjoyed coming up there and seeing a little bit more campus, and I just appreciate your time, and I you know, I wish you the very best. I think you're doing a great job so far, and I just wish you nothing but success.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for coming up here. That was awesome. I'm glad you did this.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Mia.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Talegate Podcast. And in the meantime, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We'll see you next time.